Saints, welcome back to another episode of Prophetic Updates with Lighthouse Beams Ministry. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe, click the notification bell so that you'll stay updated. Share with your friends so that they can be blessed by these presentations as well. We're going to show you that they are planning for another pandemic that is coming in the near future. On the screen, we showed you in the past, we're showing it to you again. October 18, 2019, this group of people, the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security in partnership with World Economic Forum and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, they came together in an event called Event 201, where they talked about a pandemic that was going to be coming in the near future. They talked about it in October 18, 2019. And guess what? December 2019, we were hit by a pandemic. Was it a coincidence? This is just one instance. I could tell you a lot, show you a lot of issues where they talked about it before they come. They actually gave the name as well, coronavirus. They gave the name before it came. Guess what? The name of the laboratory in Wuhan was Wuhan Coronavirus Laboratory. And when the COVID, when the situation break out and the pandemic break out, they said, where did this came from? They didn't want to admit that it was a lab leak. They said that it might have came from the market just next to the laboratory. From the market next to the laboratory. Really? Really? But what about the name of the laboratory? Isn't it the same name as the disease itself? Again, they're preparing for what is to come. They said it and then it came. Are they prophets? I don't think so. October 23, the year 2022, the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security, again with the World Health Organization in partnership with Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, they came together to talk about a conducted catastrophic contagion, a pandemic tabletop exercise on the Grand Challenges annual meeting in Brussels. That is in Belgium. Now, they talk about another contagion, another pandemic that was supposed to come in the future. Really? Out of that, they made a video that I'm gonna show that you guys can see on the screen. They said that it is the year 2025. It is the year 2025, and they are again promoting the jab, promoting the shot. Could it be that in that year again we will be needing it? Again, there will be another pandemic breaking out. Something to think about. See the video on the screen.
In 2020, scientists developed life-saving COVID-19 vaccines in record-breaking time. It was miraculous. It saved the lives of my parents and grandparents. In just a few months, nearly everybody in my country got the vaccine.
I lost my mother right at the start of the pandemic.
Africa 2025. Now, again, that is in the year what? 2025. They showed it on the video. You can pause and go back and look at it again. Oh, conspiracy theory. Could be. There's a lot of evidence that show that what they promote actually come to pass. Are we just going to sit there and wait for coincidence to take its course? Events to take its course? Look at what Spirit of Prophecy says. Great Controversy, page 589, paragraph 2 says, Satan walks through the elements also to garner his harvest of unprepared soul. He has studied the secrets of the laboratory of nature, and he used all his power to control the elements as far as God allows. What does he do? He's studying in the laboratories of nature. He's studying the power that nature has and how to twist it around to use it to his advantage. Even the quotation goes on in saying that he imparts to the air a deadly taint and thousands die by the pestilence. This is Spirit of Prophecy prophesying that things like these are going to be happening in the future. Check the laboratories that are going on. The devil may be walking in there, but guess what? This is not a theory anymore. It is a reality. It was discussed already. Listen to this.
Now that the Energy Department has made its conclusion, the FBI as well, that they're expressing low confidence, admittedly, but that a lab origin being more likely.
The reality is the U.S. government funded this work. NIH funded it, USAID funded it, the State Department funded it, and the DOD funded it. So the United States funded the research, and the scientific community, largely in America and Europe, fostered the gain-of-function research, which was the basis for which this virus came.
Now, this kind of research is called gain-of-function research. Let me explain what it is. Gain of function research is a small virus that is not lethal, it's not dangerous, but they get it and give it more power. It increase in lethality, in its power to destroy lives, kill a lot of people. That is called gain of function research. And by the way, this is Dr. Robert Redfield. He's a former director of CDC, Center for Disease Control and Prevention in the United States. And what did he say? He said that the Energy Department, the FBI, USAID, NIH, all of them have approved and they admit. Now, guess what? They're not going to say directly that we were doing that. They're not stupid. If they say that those people who actually did it can go straight to prison. So they're not going to say they're hinting it, but nevertheless, it can be clearly proven that researches were taking place there. And they were actually, the United States government was actually funding it. Money that went into CDC, money that went into the NIH was directed to do researches on animals. So, what are we expecting in the near future? If these researches, are they taking place and we expect more dangers in the future? Dr. Redfield.
That prior to gain of function research, the only way new pathogens came in to the human species was spillover. But now in the presence of gain of function research, where you can take a pathogen into a laboratory and change it, then no longer does the species barrier really define the event in humans. It can actually come. And I do believe the next pandemic, and we're going to have another pandemic, and I think it's going to be the great pandemic. I consider COVID a minor pandemic. The great pandemic is going to come, and normally it would come from spillover. It's going to be bird flu that learns how to transmit to humans and then go human to human. But I think the species barriers are very real. But it's much more probable that it will happen because of gain of function research in a laboratory and then escape, and then we're going to have a pandemic with flu, which will be much more brutal to the world than COVID was.
There's much more probability that the next pandemic that will hit will come from a laboratory. That is what he's saying. And guess what? This is Senator Rand Paul fighting in Congress, talking about these gain of function researches that are being conducted.
Experiments that combine unknown viruses with coronaviruses that have as much as 50% mortality could endanger civilization as we know it.
What mortality rate? 50% mortality rate. And the COVID-19 mortality rate, do you know what it is? It is only 1% mortality rate. Remember, if it is to increase by 50 times more, 50% mortality rate, what are we going to do by then?
Because gain-of-function research with laboratory-created viruses not found in nature could cause a pandemic even worse the next time. We're suffering today from one that has a mortality of approximately 1%. They're experimenting with viruses that have mortalities of between 15 and 50%.
Between 15 to 50%. Friends, could the past pandemic be just the dress rehearsal of what is to come? They are not stopping these researches. They are still continuing. At the moment while we're speaking, they're still continuing with those researches. And again, on the screen, the article says, ex-CDC chief warns of coming great pandemic worse than the pestilence 19. The former chief of American Center for Disease Control says that the next pandemic to hit the world will be the great pandemic. It will be more brutal. Are we ready for it? Are we ready for it? The world is saying something. Could it be? It may not. I believe strongly that it's going to come. Even Spirit of Prophecy says there's going to be worse things to come in the near future. The devil, through studying in the laboratories of nature, is going to bring upon disease upon the land. The thousands will die by the pestilence. Thousands will die. Thousands will die from it. Is it going to be coming? I don't know. But I think that it is highly likely that it's going to come again, probably in the year 2025, just like they're saying. If you don't know, in the last segment, we're going to talk about how the world is actually preparing for this next pandemic to come. How are they going to treat it? The WHO director, Tedros, actually is trying to push forward a pandemic treaty. Now, what will this treaty contain? Here it says the pandemic treaty will give WHO power to force lockdowns on the UK MPs won. And the World Health Organization could soon gain a power to force the United Kingdom to lock down under the forthcoming pandemic treaty. A number of MPs have won. Now, what is so striking and fearful about this, I'll show you in the next article from the Telegram. This guy actually got up and said, the red writing, the whole thing filled me with suspicion and dread, because we know that many of its leading member states have embraced lockdown, the jab passport, travel ban, and border closure in recent years. All were disastrous policies which should never see the light of day again. Never again should it see the light of day. Is that what those people think, the people in World Health Organization? What? No, they're still pushing forward because they believe the next one is still to come. And when it comes, they want to be prepared. But what are they trying to do? They're going to enforce lockdowns, stricter measure. Look at what the CBN News is going to say about this treaty.
Members of the World Health Assembly gathering in Geneva have rejected a proposed agreement that many people believe would have undermined the sovereignty of nations. The idea was to give the World Health Organization additional authority to respond globally in the event of another COVID-19-like pandemic. Well, early last year, when this proposal, which, by the way, is a treaty, first came up, I spoke with Reggie Littlejohn, president of Women's Rights Without Frontiers and co-chair of the Stop Vaccine Passport Task Force. I asked what approval of the proposal would mean for people worldwide.
I believe that it will mean the establishment of a worldwide totalitarian biotech state.
It gives the WHO authority over the global supply chain, trade, commerce, through establishment of the WHO Global Pandemic Supply Chain and Logistics Network. WHO Director General Tedros.
In this treaty, if this is actually approved, it will give the World Health Organization the ability to declare a state of emergency, and all powers goes into their hands and they control the supply chains. Something to think about. They were supposed to approve this in the Geneva conference, the World Health Organization conference, but guess what? It was never approved. And look at the dissatisfaction on Tedros' face. But he is still hopeful that at the World Health Authority Summit, they're going to make some changes to that.
My wish is we will come out of the assembly re-energized.
Apparently, it was rejected at the Geneva conference. But guess what? Tedros was still hopeful of the World Health Authority Summit that was going to take place. He said, we're going to bring that forward and try to make it real there, try to pass some laws there.
Inspired, we will try everything, believing that anything is possible, and make this happen. Because the world still needs a pandemic treaty, and the world needs to be prepared. Because many of the challenges that caused the serious impact during COVID-19 still exist. Starting from equity, for instance, was the center of this negotiation. So, still exist. And we should really prepare the world. So, let's continue to try everything, and anything is possible. And as we always say, if there is a will, there is a way. So I'm still positive, to be honest, despite the outcome. That's what I am.
I'm still positive. He was anticipating the World Health Authority Summit that was going to take place. And guess what happened at the World Health Authority Summit? This is when the issue was discussed.
I see no objection. The resolution, including the amendments contained in document A77/A/com./14, is adopted.
And there goes the celebration where they're applauding and being celebrated. What did Tedros say after the meeting?
I have lost my voice. But it's a small price to pay. because tonight we have all won, and the world has won. And I offer you all my warmest congratulations and my deepest gratitude. You have made history here today in approving a strong package of amendments to the international health regulations. You have strengthened the cornerstone of international health law. In doing so, you have made the world safer. The pandemic agreement is not done yet, but I have no doubt it will be.
I have no doubt it will be. What happened at that meeting at the World Health Authority conference, the summit, was that it has been approved that they should make amendments to the World Health Regulations. They should make amendments to the IRH, the International Health Regulations. They're going to just make some tweaks, little tweaks here and there, but still they're going to approve it, and they were given the authority to make some new laws. What kind of laws are they going to be doing? I do not know. Many people do not know. When it comes out, we'll know it. Will it be public? I do not know if it will be public or it will be in secret. But when they put it out, it's going to be something that everyone is going to come in contact with. The last one, look at the screen. The International Health Regulation is something that was approved in 2005, and it is binding or legally binding to 196 countries, of which 194 are the World Health Organization member state as well. And this is something that basically what the world should do in response to any pandemic that comes, infectious disease come upon the earth, the globe. How should they respond? These are legally binding regulations, by the way. And guess what? The world is preparing for the next thing to come. This is the document that they had all along. It was the third edition, which was edited or amended in 2005. Now they're trying to make amendments to that again for the pandemic, specifically for that. They are allowing it. What kind of laws will come out, we do not know. But some people in some parts of the world will make some amendments, and the amendments will be rolled out, and the impact of it will be felt by the peasants, by the locals, by everyone else around the world. What kind of laws will it be? I do not know. Let's just be hopeful for the future. Councils on Health, page 506, paragraph 1 says, as religious aggression subverts the liberty of our nations, those who would not stand for freedom of conscience will be placed in unfavorable position. Friends, if you support religion of conscience or freedom of conscience, freedom of conscience, you will be placed under unfavorable conditions. Look at this. For their own sake, they should, while they have the opportunity, become intelligent in regards to disease, its cause, prevention, and cure. Guess what? What this statement is saying, our health method, we will be rejected from the worldly system of health in the last day. She is not guessing. This is what the Lord showed her to Sister White. Our method of health will be standing in opposition to the worldly method of approaching disease, dealing with diseases. Look at the last quotation. Great Controversy, page 589. It says, while appearing to the children of men as a great physician who can heal all the maladies, he will bring diseases and disaster upon populous cities, until populous cities are reduced to ruin and desolation. Friends, did that occur already? I would think so. During the last pandemic that we had, I would think so. Who is causing those deaths in the cities? There is the devil, while appearing to the children of men as someone who wants to heal. I'm giving you a clue. Look at all those who are claiming to bring healing to us, those professing to do good to us. They will camouflage themselves with the name doctors, professionals, but their way of treating diseases, it has to be questioned. We have to reason from cause to effect. We have to know how to defend our freedom of conscience, friends. If you do not know this test is going to come closely with the test of the third angel's message. The medical missionary test comes hand in hand with the test for the third angel's message. the Sabbath test. That's what Spirit of Prophecy says. If we fail on one, we might fail on the other. Guess what? In the time of Daniel, those who overcome the test of health reform, eating proper diet, temperance, they did not worship the beast. Only those who passed the health reform test stood up and did not bow down to the image. Does it have an implication there? I think so. I believe so. Those who do not pass the test of the 10 angels, those who do not pass the test on health reform, medical ministry, missionary work, they will fail on this point, the final point. Because you know what? The health is a key to reach the hearts of the people. We will do evangelism that way, and guess what? How the devil will be working to bring people into his territory, his compound, also through his medical missionary work, his medical arm, together with the merchants of the earth. Read Revelation chapter 18, verse 23. The great men of the earth, through their deception. Friends, before I conclude, I just want to say, you have to know where your boundaries of freedom of conscience lies before you hand over your freedom to the government, and they will make decisions for you, and you will regret when it is too late. You may even lose your life. We should know now how to defend it. This is the time to know it. This is the time to study it for yourself. Friends, if you are blessed by it and want to see the whole video, click here. If you want to see another video similar to that, click here. And do not forget to subscribe and click the notification bell to stay updated. God bless you all.